so passive aggressive.
Do you want to take your cardio off?
No.
So you've got a different day, not the same day. You ready? Remember where you put your phone. Hi everyone, it's Andy from Camp Europe. And
Wouter! When is this episode going to
2 or 3 weeks time?
Can't say it still yet.
Can't say it. Can't say it. Big secret coming.
It's a
big secret coming.
Big surprise.
Big announcement. Anyway, here we are again with another episode of the podcast. And today we're talking about skis. And we've got a load of different skis here, which we're going to talk about. This isn't so much about talking about the ski, how the skis are made. It's just about different types of skis that you may or may not want to consider, depending how good you are at skiing, how fit you are, how often you're going skiing, and things like that. So we're going to start with Wouter and what you're starting with.
Starting with a GS World Cup ski.
Okay.
Proper full-on
Race
ski with a race plate. You can see there's a very big, heavy race plate. And yeah, it is, I've got a slalom ski myself and a jet ski. And I always ski on either of them.
Okay.
Yeah. And yeah.
So you're holding a Head World Cup GS ski.
Yeah.
And I've got an Atomic G9, which is also a GS ski, but it's not a World Cup ski. So what's the main difference between these two skis?
Well, this one is a little bit less stiff, theoretically.
A little bit more forgiving.
A little bit more forgiving, and it's got a bit of a shorter radius. You know, this radius last year was 20. This ski's got 25 meters because, well, here it's a 22 because it's a very short ski.
Yep.
25 meters, this model. And it's just stiff. Yeah, it's got loads of rebound. Yeah, which I love on a ski. It needs loads of rebound. And this is just got, you know, it's got a big radius. It takes longer to carve, you know, bigger turns.
Yep.
It's more heavy, so it needs more power. This one is a little bit less heavy because you can see the plate.
Yep.
It's less thick, less heavy. It's got a rail on it to put the slide binding on and off, which here doesn't really properly need to mount. And it's just a bit lighter and forgiving, as you said, you know.
Okay, so for people who are going out and looking at buying skis, there are going to be very few people who need to be on a World Cup race ski unless they're a racer or a decent professional level skier, right? When I say professional, I mean someone who earns money from the sport. So a teacher, a coach, whatever.
Yeah, okay, but you just want to have a good. It depends on where you are as well, a little bit.
In your ability level, you're not going to want a beginner on a World Cup race ski, are you?
No. No. You want to get that just nice to where you can.
So for most recreational skiers who are going on a one or two weeks a year holiday, who like to do a medium to longer radius turn, then something like the Atomic is going to probably be a little bit more suited, because you're going to get through the day skiing a lot easier. As Bart said, this is a lot more forgiving. The World Cup ski is going to be a lot stiffer, a lot more demanding.
Yeah, but this is also quite for high end. You know?
Yeah. Oh, you've still got to be a good skier to ski this ski, and there is a lesser Atomic ski with a bigger radius, but this comes in at a 90 metre radius. This is 22 metre radius. Basically, if we were to put the ski on the side, it would ski that radius of turn. But when the skier applies pressure onto that ski, puts on a reverse camber, you can reduce that radius. But if you are a high performance skier, then something like the World Cup ski would be an option. But if you are not, you're just a recreational skier looking for performance, then you would want what I refer to as a detuned GS ski. Okay, it's not the full gas race ski, but it has still got some of the race pedigree. Okay, It got things like the anti-dampening systems. It's still got that plate that Wouter pointed out, which raises you off the ground a little bit more. Yeah. And again, solid side walls, etc. Okay, so obviously that's one end of the scale is a GS ski. The other end is
a slalom ski. So short turn radius, 12 meters. You know, it's the same. It's a slalom because it's come from racing. It's a slalom ski. The word says shorter turns. 12 meter radius. This is a GS ski, giant slalom ski. This is a slalom ski. Yeah, a very playful ski. Also a lot, again a plate. Yeah, and also a lot of rebound. You can see bomb here. You get a lot of back from it when you properly pressurize and edge the ski. And a very playful ski. I love a slalom ski. Yeah, a beautiful ski.
So the other end of that scale would be like a recreational slalom ski. Now this one I've literally just grabbed, which is a 155. It's actually an 11 meter radius, so even shorter. So again, if you prefer to do short turns, buy a short radius ski. If you prefer the longer turns, get a longer radius ski. There is something in between the two, which we'll get onto in a second.
Well, we're also going to a second. If you get, because these skis that we presented, they're quite narrow on the foot, 65, 68,
Yep.
under the foot millimeters, But and what it would be now if you choose a ski, because you see nowadays more and more people on fatter skis,
Yep.
especially in North America and etc. Some other countries. But we'll come to that in a minute. I'll probably ask you what you would choose, and maybe you should ask what I would choose. But yeah, it's also important to mention that it's more narrow under the foot.
Under the foot.
Yeah.
Which aids in that edge change. You get a quicker edge change with a narrower
Much
ski,
quicker. The ski's
and a
much
much longer edge change with a much wider ski.
And you get much more grip on snow,
Yeah.
on icy conditions,
Yeah.
which
Because the interface of the boot to the ski is so much closer than if it would be on a wider ski, where the boot is in the centre of that ski rather than over
Correct.
that ski. So that's kind of GS long turns, slalom short turns.
Yeah.
Now, a kind of an in between is something like a multi-radius ski. A lot of you will have seen the RC Noise videos that I've already got on the channel. About a laughs because I've got those videos on my channel and he hasn't.
multi-radius ski.
Okay, so what they say, and most brands have got a multi-radius ski, is they say that depending on where you're putting your pressure and your weight, you can make these skis.
That's what I've ever skied. What the frick?
But it makes it easier
Oh,
for the
yes.
skier.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so this can do a short turn, it can do a long turn, and it can do what I like to refer to as a schmedium, which is in between, but a multi-radius turn using the E-triple radius side cut that is Fisher are known
It's got a
for.
proper race plate on it.
Also, again, this is a high-performance ski, no questions about it. And they also do a short turn version, and they also do a GS version. I think the GS version is only in the World Cup range. There is a long turn version of the Noise, but long turn ski, GS, short turn slalom, multi-radius skis. They've all got them in the range. I think it's the X9 is Atomic's multi-radius ski. The Noise from Fisher. I just smacked Wouter in the face there. The Noise is your multi-radius turn ski from Fisher. Now they say that it's predominantly an on-piste ski, but if you can ski, you can ski it off-piste and you can ski it in the bumps. Moving on to an off-piste ski.
Yeah, so you've got a Freeride ski. So that's just an example. You've got so many. You've got such a big range nowadays. Of course, different, prints on them, different width under the under the foot, and a twin tip ski, of course, a park and pipe ski, which also you can use, of course, for the off-piste, for freeride ski. It's normally not as wide under the foot. Why they're so wide under the foot? Because you float a little bit better nowadays, which also I'm quite against. You've got rockers, so where the tail and the tip, they're really bent. Yeah, it's a rocker instead of a camber. That's this shape. Yeah, it goes like this. And a rocker, so your end effect of the length of the ski is much shorter than actually the ski, so the idea behind it floats better. However, how many powder days do you normally have? Let's say you ski about skier skis about, this is already a lot for the regular skiing, 6 weeks a year. Let's say you ski 50
as
days.
a holiday skier.
As a holiday skier, you do ski 50 days a year. How many of those days do you have really powder?
Depends whereabouts in the world you're going to be, but you possibly might get 2 or 3.
And what is normally do you get? The piste, and when you go off piste, it's normally a bit more icy or bumpy. Yeah?
Icy, bumpy, it can be quite heavy. If the snow
actually
it's quite wet.
This is not such a brilliant
No.
ski. Of course, when it's powder, it's nice and easy to float. They're lighter as well. Huh? So if I would be a little bit older, I would get a bit of a lighter ski, of course, but I would always go for a camber. If it's a free ride ski, I can advise you to really go for a camber, because you've got a bit more grip, and I wouldn't go too wide either, because it's what you said.
Too wide.
Yeah,
Too wide.
wide. Yeah, I would not go very wide. Because it's what you said. So the transfer one, you want to use the ski on the piste as well. You want to use it on like crappy conditions as well.
What I find interesting, and I used to work for Alice Springhams a long time ago, before these wide skis existed. And I look at an Ellis Brigham website now, and they don't sell many of this kind of ski anymore. Everything is an all-mountain or backcountry ski, like the one Vita's just had hold of. Now, for most of you, especially UK-based skiers who are coming to Europe on your holidays, unless you time it very, very well, you're going to be skiing the piste on your all-mountain ski, which is not going to be as enjoyable as skiing a piste performance ski or a multi-radius ski. Maybe some of the all-mountain kind of skis, a little bit narrower, 78 underfoot.
And a camber. Get a camber ski. So if you get a Freeride ski, because look, if I was younger, especially because, why is that then? Because, people are, they look cooler. They're much cooler. Look at these, how boring this is.
Yeah.
Come on. This, and nothing, they're too scared to change and put some cool prints on it. I don't understand. So everyone sees this ski factories or industries, just put some cool prints on it. Yeah, the same with the boots. Right. Anyways, this is one not the right. Sorry, I just read the ski, but I can understand. But then get a camber ski. That holds and grips. And not too wide. And you've got a fantastic ski because you can ski it on the piste as well.
But think about what skiing you're going to be doing on your holiday. Most likely, obviously, if we've got a pair of them in the garage and we have a massive powder dump, and the last time we really had proper powder was COVID winter when we were closed. And there was about 15 of us on the mountain. And that was the one and only time I've worn a fat ski.
I don't. I still have one. I use it once a year.
Yeah,
I want to. I go loads of touring. Yeah, that's what we also have. We have here touring skis, are very light. Yeah, I go loads of touring. Yeah, I mean they're also not very wide. The touring skis, and you don't really need it. And you also find always powder, and you do fine on a touring ski. Of course, not as enjoyable as a Freeride ski, but it is. Yeah.
Touring skis are quite niche, really. Even though touring has had a big explosion again since COVID. Main things with touring skis is that the lighter you can get, the better. But then, are you compromising on things like torsional rigidity?
If you're doing the skinning on the piste,
torsional rigidity and the stiffness. Obviously, you want the lightness for the up, but you want that torsional rigidity and the stiffness for the down. Yeah. They're not the easiest skis to ski on, depending on the conditions, but it depends on your reason for touring. Are you doing a hut-to-hut? So you're doing minimal downtime? Are you touring for fitness? So you're doing more up and the down doesn't really matter? All depends why you're doing it and what you're doing it. If you're hunting out powder, then tour on a powder ski. A little bit heavier on the up, but that performance on the way down. But touring skis are kind of a big beast within their own category. Yeah.
But it's just for that you see the range. Reference. Yeah, and we'll tell you in a minute anyways, some conclusion, but yeah.
So then the only other thing really is there are lady-specific skis or female-specific skis. Typically they are slightly lighter, they are slightly more forgiving, but again, you're going to lose a little bit of that torsional rigidity. If you are a very light lady, 50 or less kgs, 5'7", 5'8", very, very slim, then a lady's ski is possibly going to be slightly more advantageous than a unisex ski, purely for the lightness, unless you are quite physically fit and strong.
Yeah, but I would. There are some are good, some are good. Most of them are not. Let's face it. Let's be honest. Yeah. It's a marketing thing.
For a recreational skier, 1 week, 2 weeks of the year,
it's fine. But then I always, if you want to buy something, I would buy something lighter. Maybe an all mountain or a nice lighter piste skis. Good also here, like a little bit like this.
Yep.
Because it's also you want to cope with something.
So if you go for a 155, a short slalom ski, it's going to have a bit more performance in it than the ladies ski in a similar height.
And it's got much more control.
Yeah, because what you're going to find is the lighter the ski goes, and this is one of the things with the touring skis is you get a lot of shudder.
There's a lot of vibration and there's less rebound. You want to look in a ski really. You want that it's a wood core and there's some rebound in a ski. That's what you want.
Yeah, that's anyway. Just what you just said there, because this is a real important point. A lot of the cheap skis that you will see, anything under nowadays €300, 250 or below, the chances are they've got a core that's made from puppy dog fur rather than wood. Look for a wood core ski. If you go into a shop and go, that looks like a good deal, have a look and see what it says the core is. And if it doesn't say it's wood, then put it back on the shelf and walk away. Okay, get yourself a wood cored ski.
Yeah. So my question now is, then, okay, people should, anyways, watch you, they know a little bit about skis. If you buy a ski, what would you now buy? What would you buy if you only had, you buy one ski? What would you buy? A wider ski, more narrow nowadays?
For me, and this is actually the ski that I'm skiing on at the moment, I would buy something, and this is for me, a detuned GS, because it gives me enough performance. It gives me the ability to do those long turns. I can also do the short turns. I can take it into the off-piste and the bumps, no problem. And I can ski relatively deep powder without too much trouble.
Yeah, I agree. I would, if you buy a ski that's not too wide under the foot. Don't go over 75, 80 millimeters, and to really get, actually, the more narrow the better. It's on the piste, of course. But, if you want to ski for everything, not too wide under the foot, a camber, and a nice ski that's got a bit of rebound that fits your weight skiing ratio, and that's what I would buy.
You've got to be careful nowadays. There's a massive big thought about carving and carving skis, and if you buy a carving ski, that ski is meant to be carved. If you can't carve, what are you going to do on it? Now, a good skier will be able to slide that ski, but it's going to want to carve. And you're not going to carve all day long on a carving ski because you're going to get absolutely knackered. And also, depending on your ability, you're not going to be able to carve down every single gradient of run you come to. Right?
A drift skis.
Yeah, you want something that's more manoeuvrable, and something like this is going to be more manoeuvrable than a carving ski. Yes, you can carve this ski if you can ski to a certain level, but again, a lot of people don't realise it. You can do just as good a short turn on this as you can on this. It's a slightly different style of short turn, but it's still a short turn. And again, one of the reasons I ski on this ski is because I like how the short turns feel. I had the X9, the Atomic X9, the multi-radius ski. I did not like doing a short turn on that ski because it just gripped too much.
Multi-radius ski. Let's not stop laughing.
So yes, that's what I would be skiing, and that is what I am skiing at the moment. Wouter's phone's going off, very professional Wouter, as always.
Anyway.
So, any final thoughts, Mr.
No, that was
Mr.
it.
Ski?
I think that is,
Okay.
Get a ski that suits to your needs,
Yeah,
really.
and if you
don't go too wide.
Try as many skis as you can as well. Most shops now you can rent for a day. If you like that ski, you can buy the new version. They'll give you your rental cost back in a way of a discount. And try a few different skis. Try a long-term a GS ski, a slalom ski, a multi-radius ski. Yeah. Stay away from the fat skis if you're just having 1 week holidays because you're going to just waste your money. But yeah, try as many as you can and find out, feel what's good, what's nice. So not massively technical about the build of skis, that one, just about the different types of skis. Any questions or comments, leave them below and Wouter will answer all of them. When he's not looking after one of his many, many children.
Blah, blah, blah.
Other than that, it's Andy for Backcountry saying bye for now.
See ya. Bye bye.